Today we're going to talk about what the 3 most common mistakes are when a buyer goes out and purchases a home.
Yeah, so a common one that I see is that something happens in the buyer's life and that makes them go, man, I want to buy a home, or I need to buy a home. It starts making sense for them to go buy a home. And what do? They jump right into looking at homes. So for me, it's getting the process out of line. I think the first part of the process is talking to a lender, right? In order to buy the home, you got to buy the money first. And a lot of people will skip this, or they'll even delay going into that.
Do you think that they should reach out to an agent before they reach out to a lender first? Do you think that that would be beneficial, or should they reach out to a lender first before reaching out to an agent?
Yeah, if I had my pick, I would choose that they reach out to me first, and that way I can put them in contact with one of the preferred lenders that I like to work with. We can work with any lender as a real estate agent, but what's important to me with the lender is that they have good communication and that they're really vetting the buyer rather than just kind of tell them what they want to hear and hoping that they can qualify later. What I see with a lot of buyers is that this is a scary part of the process for them, where they're having to be vulnerable about their finances, and then no one wants to hear no, and you start thinking, man, if I go, what if they tell me no, I can't buy a house? So a lot of times they'll delay or try and skip this process. But a fun fact, Carissa, is that 100% of people that buy a home with a loan, they complete a mortgage application. It's actually,
so that's step 1.
It's actually not a part of the process that you can skip. But to answer your question, I would rather them come to me, and that way I can put them in contact with someone that I trust and that I know is going to give them a really good experience.
Yeah. So when buyers are going out to view a home, let's say they saw a house on, Zillow that they really loved, and they're ready to see it, and they call you and they're like, hey, Bill, I want to see this house. First thing we're going to ask is,
oh, have you talked to a lender to get a pre-approval?
Yeah,
this is an important step. Of course I'll go take them out and show them a home, but here's what ends up happening. And it never fails, Carissa. The house could be on the market for 6 months with no one caring about it. And then you call me and you want to go look at the house. We go out there, we look at it, and you fall in love. You're like, oh my gosh, Bill, what is it going to take for me to buy this house? Right, so we go right back to, well, do you have a pre-approval with the lender? You say no, so then we go start that process. Meanwhile, 2 or 3 other people that already have pre-approvals with the lender, they also stumble upon this home, and then they're ready to buy it, and
they've been pre-qualified. They're ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're dead in the water because now you're on step 1 after doing step 2.
I also found it interesting too that, buyers who aren't pre-qualified yet before looking at homes will often pick a house that is outside of their budget, not knowing what the interest rate is today, not knowing how much money they're going to put down. You can do the calculations online, but sitting in front of somebody who does this day in and day out can really put a dollar amount on something and push you forward to finding the right house for you.
And nothing will hurt your feelings more than falling in love with the $500,000 house, but finding out that you're a $300,000 a house buyer. Yes. That can really hurt your feelings and really make you stumble a little bit and make some bad decisions throughout the process too. So it's always a good idea to figure out what your buying power is, what lane you're in. Learn a little bit more than just, it's not just how much money you make or your credit profile. It's also a lot to do with the home itself as well, which a lot of people wouldn't realize.
What would you say would be the next biggest mistake that buyers are making in today's market?
Another big mistake I would say is they get a referral for an agent, a family member, or a friend, or even just a referral from a family member or friend, and then they end up just going with the first agent just because of that inherent trust that it's been given by another person. But meanwhile, that agent may be low value or even part-time. So while you're wondering if you can make an offer on a home, they're teaching kindergartners.
Yeah.
And this is a real thing. They could be nurses or teachers, or doing another job full time, and then the real estate is just a part-time gig for them.
So picking someone or an agent that could be a part-time agent, not necessarily someone who's in it every day, could potentially, hurt a buyer. Am I right?
Oh, definitely, because a lot of time, time kills deals. We say this a lot in the industry, and if you find a property you really want, you need to be able to get in that property quickly. And if you're having to compete with someone else's work schedule, it can really deflate that process.
It's because we're still seeing multiple offers happening out there in today's market.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So having an agent who is not, available to answer the phone, like if the listing agent calls and sets a deadline, that could potentially hurt that buyer's offer for that house. Is there anything else with hiring a part-time agent that you think is important? Maybe not even a part-time agent, maybe somebody who's not well educated in real estate, someone who hasn't done a lot of classes, someone who, isn't involved day in and day out in the business.
Just because an agent is new in the business doesn't mean they're unqualified to help you. Of course, I was new at one point. But if they have a good mentor helping them and they have good support from the brokerage, then they're probably qualified to help you out. But what I see with agents who may not fall into, having the good support, is they're unfamiliar with the contract. They're asking you to sign things that they may not understand themselves. And then just lack of practice with the patterns of how real estate works. They may not know what happens next, and they may not know what to expect to happen next. So they could be just as caught off guard as you are as the buyer when something comes up.
Say a low appraisal or anything like that.
Exactly, yeah. They may not know how to run comps to defend that price, or maybe they didn't even value the home that you were making an offer on, and they may not even know that home could be overpriced. So I would say, recapping what we talked about, these three things. One is not talking to a lender and not getting pre-approved. This is a big mistake I see buyers making. Two, they don't interview agents. They just grab the first agent they go with, and they don't do themselves the service of talking to multiple people to make sure they got the right person. And third, just trusting the agent and trusting that agent knows what they're doing and that they have good support, rather than asking those questions up front, like asking them to explain the contract to you so you understand all these things they're asking you to sign. Yeah,
it's very important in today's market to be, also an educated buyer and have a realtor that knows how to educate you on the things that you're going to be signing and doing.